Kashyap. You continue to be a global ambassador for furthering the India-US ties, and really delighted once again to be amongst your global board, all friends, many of whom have interacted with me, I think, several times. I do see some new faces also. It's a poignant moment. 9/11, I think every year is a day that reminds us of the potential hazards of terrorism going beyond borders. We in India, of course, have been suffering from dastardly acts of terrorism for decades, almost ever since independence. What happened in the United States was certainly condemnable, and we pay homage to all of those who lost their lives, many of them in the finance world from which I come. But at the same time, I think it showed the tremendous resilience of the people of the United States of America. It showed the need for solidarity amongst like-minded nations, particularly democracies. And also it demonstrated that until we build a global coalition against terrorism, we collaborate with each other, we cooperate with each other, this menace will not go away. Of course, we continue to see such acts. We've seen one very recently where it has almost led to a new war and loss of number of lives. I think that was a major part of the debate this morning also between Vice President Harris and President Trump. And in every respect, this is a day for us to reinforce and recommit ourselves to a better world. And I'm indeed delighted that the United States and India are getting closer and closer in our shared interests, both for bilateral issues and the geopolitical situation across the world also. As President Biden said, and I think he is truly reflected in his comment, this very important and strategic relationship, this clearly is the most consequential relationship that the world is seeing between India and the United States of America. Friends, this is also an important day for many of us in India who draw inspiration from the words of Swami Vivekananda, one of our early sages and thought leaders. It was on this day in 1893 that he made a very important speech in Chicago. I still don't know how to pronounce Chicago because every American I meet pronounces it in a different way. So I'll have to look at some authentic Chicago person telling me whether it's Chicago or whatever. But that speech resonated with almost every Indian, even though it's now almost 130 years old. In fact, it also resonates very deeply with the theme that you have set out today in your Ideas Summit. Partnership and prosperity. These are the two words that will get the world to a better place. And even at that point of time, he spoke about universal tolerance. He spoke about harmony amongst nations and the importance of respecting and recognizing each other's own cultural background, traditions, history, and the pride that every nation takes in their own history, in their own culture. So therefore, it's a very important day that we have all collectively gathered. I think on the one hand, we should denounce acts like the one in New York on 9/11. We should denounce divisive tendencies, inflammatory and fake propagandas that even today continue to haunt the world. And while I don't want to make it political, but I landed from Mumbai this morning and my first call was from my office, party office, to immediately give a press bite on eminent people from India also using foreign shows to downgrade our own country, which truly is something which amazes me, because I don't think any of us in this room would ever go to a foreign country. And I don't imagine any of you coming from the United States, coming to India. Whatever may be your background, you may be a person of Indian origin for that matter. But when you come to any foreign land, you'll have pride in your country. You'll talk high about your own nation, about your own people. And such tendencies clearly need to be looked down upon, denounced with the most strongest of words. But on the other hand, we have an organization like USIBC and all of you distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are furthering this relationship. Each one of you will talk good things about this relationship. Each one of you will give us great ideas to make it better. Each one of you will add positive value. And one doesn't believe that everything is right. There's miles to go before we can reach that ideal world, or what was it? Leon Uris's John Galt, which one was that? I'm forgetting the book. Where? Atlas Shrugged. Yeah, we have a long way before we can reach the ideal world. But I think each one of us in our own small way can contribute to bettering our two nations, to making doing business easier, better, faster, smoother, more comfortable, more enjoyable. All of us can come up with great ideas to help demonstrate to the world that the United States and India are partners at another level, at a level never seen before. And I have no doubt that with the support I've seen that USIBC has given us, with the amount of ideas and with the continuous exchange amongst many of you, often individually also, we in India at least learn a lot. One of the reasons I got delayed was a few meetings that got longer than scheduled. And even Michael from Crindle, an IBM offshoot, had to wait some time, and I felt very, very embarrassed. But certain political meetings in the morning and government meetings went beyond my calendar time. But we were sharing notes that when he first came to meet me after Crindle was spun off from IBM, they were having a very significant problem in doing business. You were there, sorry, ma'am is here, right here. So I shouldn't be saying it actually. But truly they were having a difficulty, which was irrational. I remember in the very first meeting, my acknowledging to him that it's beyond my comprehension that you are having this problem in doing business. But I was delighted when they reported back that it's got resolved. So I do believe there's a huge value in our organizations like USIBC. We'll soon have the US-India CEO Forum. I think we've zeroed down on dates 2nd and 3rd of October when I will be in, where is it, New York or Washington? DC. I'll be in Washington, DC, furthering not only our commercial dialogue, not only this beautiful partnership, brotherhood, but with Gina there, I should say, familyhood, brother and sisterhood that we have between our two nations, but also looking at what work the US-India CEO Business Council has been able to do in the last year. What I told them today, that we should have a very strong action taken report, not only just for the political part of it or for the reporting back, but also to encourage others to come out to talk about their issues. Very often I'm not able to do things. I try to be rational and explain why I cannot do a certain thing, or sometimes I'm not able to get support within other ministries or other parts of government or from some states at times. But I can only assure you about one thing for sure, that it will not fail for lack of trying. We will make sure that we put in our very best effort for every one of the issues that each one of you flags off today or in writing, for lack of time in writing going forward. But I can assure you that we will take every one of your inputs very, very seriously, try to take it to its logical end. We are a government focused on reform, because we believe that reform will help us transform. And I do believe that to transform, rather the Prime Minister has already said it, we'll reform, perform and transform. And in a lighter note, in one of the meetings he said, after reform, perform and transform, it's equally important to inform. So I do hope many of you with some good experiences will also inform the rest of the world how it has been working with India. I hope you'll be more understanding if at times I'm not able to come up to your expectations, but I assure you that we'll continue to work with you to meet the aspirations of 1.4 billion Indians for a better quality of life, for a better future, the aspirations of 140 million farming families to meet their needs and a better future for their children, the aspirations of 100 million small retailers, the small mom and pop stores who have disappeared from the US landscape, which we are at least making an effort to protect to some extent. We have to meet the aspirations of every single Indian, just as I'm sure the US side will work to meet the aspirations of 350 million American citizens. So let's go for it. Let's work to, as ma'am said, strengthen supply chains, bring in cutting-edge technologies into our businesses. Let us work towards critical minerals, which is an eminent, important part of our partnership, to have resilient supply chains, have self-reliance in critical minerals, with both of us suffering a common source of concern. Common concern, C. My God, it spits in quite well. I should start rhyming my speeches. Huh? But lots to be done. We have a lot to offer. You have a lot to offer. And as one of my colleague minister often says, and somebody whom Ambassador Kashyap knows well, Kiran knows well, what is that? A plus B squared is equal to A squared plus B squared plus 2AB. So I think that's what we can all go for. That 2AB will be our bonus when we work together as friends and partners. Thank you very much, friends.
Minister, that was terrific, and I could not agree with you more that the sum of the whole is absolutely